Hi lovelies, karibu sana to my YouTube channel. My name is Glynis. Thank you so much for joining us if you're new here. If you're a returning viewer, asante sana. And in case you haven't subscribed to this channel and you're back, please consider subscribing down below. Click on the red bell in case it's still red. And click on the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Now, as I mentioned in the last video, today's video is on time-saving hacks that you could apply when you're studying to be the most efficient that you can be while you're going to school or when you're studying online. So let's get into it. As a law student, you always feel like you're pressed for time, and somehow you feel like you have no control over the amount of time that you have in a day. Sometimes you even feel like you wish you had 36 hours instead of the 24 hours in a day. I completely understand. So some of the tips I'm going to be giving you right now are hopefully going to help you make the most of the time that you have and be as effective as possible. First tip I'm going to give you is get a watch. And I know a lot of us rely on our phones to check the time, but get a watch so that you don't have to always pull out your phone and you need to find out what time it is or how much time you want to achieve a task. Now you could get a very simple watch. For instance, my watch here is just a normal wristwatch, just to tell the time, and with that you will always find yourself glancing at the time to know how much time it takes you to do an activity from start to finish, as opposed to glancing at your phone and ending up spending an entire hour on Instagram that you really didn't want to do. A wristwatch will save you that whole hassle and it will keep you in check when you need to save time. The second tip I'm gonna give you, and I've said this so many times, I said it last week, I said it in my Habits of Very Effective People: plan your day the night before. The reason why you plan your day the night before is because you get to figure out all the things that you want to achieve that day, and it gives you a big jump when you're going to wake up the next day because you already know what the day has in store. You won't spend time in bed going through your social media or wondering, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do today, because the night before you took the time to plan. So you know, if you're waking up to go to the gym, you're gonna wake up immediately, get to the gym as soon as possible. Then if you're gonna wake up and go to the library, you're gonna wake up, shower, get ready, go to the library and get your day started. If you're gonna wake up and try to beat traffic, you'll wake up as soon as you can, and before thinking, oh my god, how am I gonna get started on my day, you already have a to-do list and you have your first task to achieve. So please, before you go to bed, not the next morning, before you go to bed, set out a to-do list and set out an achievable to-do list. Don't put 20 tasks. Put the tasks that you know you can manage, and at the end of the day, as you're making the to-do list for the next day, make sure you tick on the things that you have been able to achieve, and this thing that you have not achieved, you can push them to the next day. The third time saving hack I'm gonna give you guys is pick all your outfits over the weekend. Now I know this since I have found myself when I'm going to school, I completely have no idea what to wear the next morning, and this is because somehow in the morning there's always the hustle and bustle of the day, and I don't know how, but losing a minute in the morning feels like losing an hour as compared to other times of the day. So what I do is I pick out all my outfits from Monday to Friday over the weekend, and I iron all of them and have them ready in advance before the week starts. What this does is it forces you to think about what you're going to wear each and every day, and once you've picked outfits for each and every day, in the morning you can save up to 10 to 15 minutes of thinking, oh my gosh, what am I gonna wear? The fifth tip I'm gonna give you guys, especially if you're living in the hostel and not at home when your meals are made in advance, please, and I'm saying this as someone who lived off campus and not at home while I was doing my undergrad, meal prep. And the reason why I'm telling you to meal prep is because whenever you're in campus, you always find yourself surviving on coffee and bread or biscuits, and it becomes a really bad habit. Or if you're not surviving on that, you're surviving on takeout. This is not healthy. And again, if you're trying to be effective when you're studying, you need to have a very balanced diet, which is important for mental development. So please meal prep. If it means having a weekly menu, come up with a weekly menu and make sure that as you meal prep, you have a very balanced diet. Once you meal prep, you can have all your meals ready in good time, so you don't have to think every single evening what am I going to have for dinner today. Meal prepping is also good because it makes sure that you're not spending so much money eating out. If you have to eat out, you're doing so because you've planned. So if you say, for instance, on Wednesdays I'm going to eat out, then it's already part of your meal prep, so you won't prepare a meal for dinner if you're eating out, and it gives you control over your money. Meal prep is also very, very good and friendly on your pocket, especially if you're living on a student budget, since you have control of how your money is spent when it comes to food. The sixth tip I'm gonna give you guys is do a time review of your day. Now, I already told you to plan your day the night, and at the end of the day to check out the things that you have achieved in that day. Now, a lot of times you find that you're having some gaps in your mind on what you did with the time, and you might not really know what you did with that specific amount of time, since you're thinking, wait, where was I for 2 hours? The most important thing to do is, as you're preparing your to-do list, also have a time. Please bear in mind, it's not that easy to stick to a strict time plan, because we're human beings, so many things come up, and when these things come up, they take a huge chunk of the time that we were not expecting to spend. So when you make a time plan, make sure it's very, very flexible in case of anything. So if you commute for 1.5 hours, for instance, allocate 2 hours to the commute. And when you're doing a time plan and you don't want to feel like this time is lost, the same time you're commuting, you could schedule a podcast so that you could listen to it when you're on your commute. Or you could even put that time to be your reading time, so that when you're on the bus, instead of losing a whole 2 hours in traffic, you can be reading your book. The next tip I'm gonna give you guys is please, please, please. And I know I have said please to so many things, but this is really important. Schedule important dates on your calendar and have a reminder at least a day before. Now, a lot of you who have Google, you have the Google Calendar, and the Google Calendar is very, very important because you can schedule your events. So if you have an assignment that needs handing in, or you have maybe an interview you need to attend, you can put it on your calendar and decide how long you want to be reminded of this event. The beauty with that is the next morning when you wake up, the notification that you will be seeing on your phone is the events that you have for that day. That way you're always aware of when something is coming up, and you do it ahead of time. The next tip I'm gonna give you guys, which may be a bit unpopular, but I promise it saves you a lot of time, is schedule your phone calls. A lot of the times when you're on a phone call, you can't predict how long the phone call is gonna be, and there are friends who the minute you start talking, you could talk all day. So my advice, and something that I find that really, really works, especially if you're having very intense days, is schedule your phone calls. You could schedule your phone calls in the evening when you have already finished studying and you have enough time to catch up. And this is very important because you also give your friends an appropriate amount of time to talk to them. You're not just picking your phone and being like, okay, what do you want to tell me? Finish up quickly, I need to go back and study. If someone is calling you and you feel like you can't talk, you could just answer the phone and tell them, okay, I'd really like to catch up, but right now I'm in the middle of something. Can we talk at 7? And this is because you know at 7 you will be on the commuter train if you use a train, or on the matatu, which is not noisy, and you have an appropriate amount of time to speak to this person at length without hurrying them up or without making them feel like they're intruding onto your personal space. The final tip I'm gonna give you guys is something that I am learning to do, and this is especially because we're very, very attached to our computers and our phones. It's have computer and phone free sessions. I know a lot of us study on our computer and a lot of us also study on our phones, but I'm not saying that you completely do away with the gadget. When I say this, it's more of don't have an internet connection on your phone, so that if you're using your phone, you're just using it specifically to study, or your computer. This really blocks away any notification that would interfere with you, for instance on social media. And I think we've all watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix. We know how dopamine works. When you get an Instagram notification, you can't think for some reason and you just want to check your Instagram notification. So try and have sessions where you're not dealing with gadgets, you're just dealing with physical copies of books or physical copies of notes, and you just process the information that you're studying at that particular time, and you take a break from the one that is social media that causes us so much anxiety for some reason. This is not just a time-saving hack, which is really important to have, but this is also important for your psychological well-being, because a lot of times we're so glued on our phones looking down, or on our computers, that we don't get to appreciate the beauty that is around us anyway. Even when you're on your commute and you don't really need to study or to look through your Instagram, just take time and look at the trees and the environment, see what new buildings are there, see something that will make you smile, breathe, let go any bad chakras, and just have a very, very nice time where you take it to where you are able to take things in and not spend hours and hours on social media. And also when you're studying, please try and have just screen-free time, because you find that during those hours you're able to study more effectively than if you had a phone sitting next to you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I am very, very grateful for the support you've been giving me so far. Please keep subscribing to my channel, keep sharing it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and send it to a friend or 2 or 3 who need this time saving hacks to be efficient in law school or any other course that they are doing, because I feel they apply across the board. If you have any other time hacks that you feel that should have been shared, please comment them down below. Reach out to me on any of my social media. I love you, Instagram fam. I love you, Facebook fam. Thank you so much. If you want to drop me an email, my email is down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Before I go, you know how I end this video. Don't forget to be kind to others, and most importantly to yourself, and have a very, very beautiful day. Bye.